For years, we've been bombarded with advice on how bad fat is for our health, especially saturated fat. Back in the 70s and 80s, we were urged to cut back on butter, cheese, and beef to avoid heart problems. But now, things seem to have taken a turn. Fat might actually be okay, or even good for us. Surprisingly, it's sugar that's now under the spotlight, being blamed for heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and even cancer. The shift in perspective might sound extreme, but it's been brewing for decades, while the case against saturated fat has weakened. However, when it comes to the effects of our diet on our health, it's rarely a black and white situation. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the complex history of nutrition science. We'll explore how saturated fat became public enemy number one and how the harmful effects of sugar were often overlooked. Yet this doesn't mean sugar should replace saturated fat as the new villain, or that fat is entirely innocent. Even today, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to the best diet for weight loss or heart health. But starting by reducing saturated fats and refined sugar is likely a good step in the right direction. Back in the late 1940s, a scientist named Ancel Keys noticed a puzzling trend. Successful businessmen in America were suffering from heart attacks despite their access to quality food. This led him to develop the diet heart hypothesis, suggesting that saturated fats, the kind that clog your arteries, were the culprits. This hypothesis kick-started a dietary revolution. By the 70s, studies indicated a connection between saturated fat and heart disease, though it was mainly based on correlations. Randomized controlled trials were challenging to conduct and interpret. Nevertheless, the diet heart hypothesis became mainstream, leading to dietary guidelines advising reduced fat intake. However, critics questioned these recommendations from the beginning, arguing that they lacked solid trial-based evidence. Some even suspected sugar was a bigger problem. Strangely enough, the 7-country study did reveal a link between sugar consumption and heart attacks, but it was overshadowed by the focus on saturated fat. In recent years, research has shifted its focus away from fat and toward sugar. New findings have challenged the idea that all cholesterol is bad, complicating the case against fat. It became clear that high sugar and refined carbohydrate diets were associated with heart disease risk. Despite the growing consensus against sugar, labeling it as toxic and blaming it for numerous health issues might be an oversimplification. While excessive sugar consumption is problematic, the exact threshold of too much remains unclear. Diseases with strong genetic links like cancer or inflammatory bowel disease may not solely be caused by sugar. In the end, the battle between sugar and fat isn't a straightforward one. The truth is, diet recommendations are complex and can't be simplified into one villain or savior. Each person's response to different diets can vary due to genetics and metabolism. In a world where we still have to eat, finding the perfect diet remains elusive. Doctors generally advise reducing saturated fats, but the key is to replace them wisely. Unsaturated fats found in nuts can be beneficial. Whole grains can be a good substitute as well, but not refined sugars or other carbs. While we navigate this nutritional maze, remember that balance is key. Neither extreme fat nor sugar is the answer. Occasional indulgence in sweets won't harm you, just like an occasional steak won't lead to a heart attack. It's all about moderation and making informed choices. Like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos like this one. Thank you for watching.